Good evening. Sound check, sound check. All right, we're kicking off in about 2 minutes, guys. So thanks for coming in. See a couple of people coming in there. Hi. Good evening. My name's Nathan from Rapid Startups. I run a meetup down here in Perth in Western Australia. There's around 1,000 members at the moment, and we're trying to do some more online sessions to keep everyone available. Sorry, the dog is... yeah, I might have to move him. He's snoring his head off. Sorry about that. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, so it's 8 o'clock. We'll kick off. Tonight we're talking about building our website. So I'm going to show you how to really easily build a website for free immediately that'll convert, as well as moving you from a simple design through to a really professional design. So we'll cover that tonight. It's actually a really quick session, but I want to do some more hands-on and actually show you with my screen, share my screen and show you a few things. We've done this a few times in person. We did it with a presentation. We've done it with a laptop. That was a bit tricky. Trying to get everyone over the shoulder to have a look. So we've moved this session to online. It's a lot easier to show everyone how it all works. So let me bring up the presentation. I'll show you some details. Effectively, I am going to quickly walk you through starting a site. You can start right now. So you can do this if you're on your laptop. You could actually half the screen there and follow along. It's really super simple. So we'll get into that. What we're talking about building is a simple landing page. So a one-page converting website to get people on your email list. It's a pretty simple way to start any business. So we'll kick off with that. So without any further ado, I will show you what I put together for you, and I'll also then come back and share my screen with you and show you how all that works as well. All right, and if you have any comments, feel free to chuck them in. This is live. If you are watching the replay, you won't be able to comment, but you can send me a message. You can comment on the actual YouTube or wherever you're watching this at the moment. If you're watching on our site, you can put comments up there as well. Feel free to do that. Chat doesn't work on mobile. So if you are watching this on a mobile, you won't be able to put the chat on. I haven't been able to get that working for anybody yet. I'm not sure how that works, but anyway, we'll kick off. If you do have any questions, chuck the chat on the side there and chuck them in. Otherwise, we'll get into it. So let's talk about building your site. So a quick recap from last week's session. We talked about validation. So always starting with your why. It's the same with any business. What business archetype and model are you best suited to? We talked about going where the fish are, not sort of starting up something and hoping that people will come to you, just sort of go and stand in front of where they already are, and reverse engineering what's already working. So I showed you a few things with that as well. So always starting with our why, eventually everything will become a job. And if you do what you love, you'll never actually work a day in your life. So we covered a few business models and archetypes. I put together this sheet with real world examples. So each of those being a link and a bit of a matrix together to show you things around market size, the simplicity and ease of entry into a business, whether you can automate and recurring revenue based on those. So business archetypes were teacher, freelancer, maker, and retailer. And then each of those are subtypes, which you're probably aware of those certain subtypes. So a coach or a life coach or something like that, a thought leader, a mediapreneur. And then I've got real world examples. So you can grab this on the workshop page if you haven't got this already. Each of those links actually takes you out to a full-blown case study on what they do. The things that I'm really into at the moment are coaching, helping a lot of people at the moment with their businesses, and also down the bottom there in the retailer. So I own Butter Coffee. It's an online store for healthy products. And I also am very much into Amazon FBA at the moment. So I'm moving from a physical business in my with a warehouse and stuff, and actually going, Amazon's already got this already set up and sorted. So I'm going to move product from around the world into Amazon and not touch it. So much better model for me. All right, so that was a recap. Let's get into landing pages. You guys are all here for that. So can you start a website with $0, zero time, and without an actual HTML website? Yes, the answer is yes. So let's have a look at how you could do that. By far my favorite email service provider. We're not talking Gmail or Hotmail here. We're talking automated emails. So marketing type emails is MailChimp. It's fantastic. That's Freddie there, the mascot. I actually have, I can't show you at the moment, but I have a few little figurines of him. I'm such a fan. If you haven't seen MailChimp yet, go check it out. It's fantastic. If you have something like an Aweber or a Constant Contact or something like that already, then you're streets ahead of most people. You really do need that to capture people's email addresses. You need something to capture them. And what you can actually use is MailChimp to create a single landing page. So no website, no worries. In MailChimp, I've got a screenshot here, but I'm actually going to cut across to MailChimp Live and show you how this works. You have the ability to create a list. So you'll see in the image there at the top, it's a switch list. I've got about 65 lists, I think, in my MailChimp, which I'll show you in a sec. Apologies if I still got you all there. I don't know what happened there. Just all of a sudden come up and said, you are unauthorized to be here, which is very interesting. Anyway, I'll continue on. Just let me share across to where I was. Apologies for that. So I do remember exactly where we're up to. I'll just keep going. So I will flick across in a moment. I hadn't actually done anything, so that wasn't my fault. To actually live MailChimp and show you the sign up form. So when you create a list, you can manage those people that subscribe to that list. You can manage the forms that they see to sign up. And you've got a bunch of settings in there. So I'll give you a quick overview of that, but effectively what we're looking at the moment is how to create a website, I'm using inverted commas there, landing page to actually capture people's email addresses without a website. So if you are a coach, or if you're starting a service or even an app, and you don't have a website yet, you can use MailChimp to collect email addresses. You want to create some buzz, you want to collect a few people to test your idea, you want to be able to show people something that that shows that you are a legit business. You haven't actually got anything yet, so you're validating your idea, as in last week's session. You can use MailChimp. So MailChimp will give you it's not exactly an ugly URL, but it's not a pretty one either, but it will give you this eepurl.com and / and then some numbers. If you went to HostGator or GoDaddy or Crazy Domains or something like that and bought a URL, you could actually, yourcompany.com could redirect to this. So you could send people to yourcompany.com, and then up in the URL bar, it'll actually change to this EEP URL. But effectively, that URL is a website, and that website will then have the sign-up form that you create. Now, let me flick over to MailChimp, hello again, and show you exactly what that looks like. So you have a lot of options to design, edit, and modify. You'll see on the example, I've put an image up the top. I can change the subtitle here. I've got email address. These forms are hidden. You can add any of these address. You could turn this into a survey form and ask people for details, all sorts of stuff. So it has a EAP URL here, and I can add things to it. So this screen, I'll add things to it. In the design, I can, when that comes up, it's going to give me about 50 options here. It's not at the moment, not sure why. It will bring up a whole bunch of things you can change. So you can change the fonts, you can change the way, the look and feel of each of the fields, the way the button looks, and you can even translate it. So you can have it come up. Sorry, that's my dog snoring in the background. You can even translate it into other languages if that's relevant to you. So let's have a quick look at what that looks like without all the details. So that URL will actually redirect again and take me to this longer, much longer URL with the subscribe, CUID and things like that in there. So you don't need to worry about that stuff up the top there, but effectively you could have yourdomain.com redirect to your EAP URL, this one here, that will then take you to this. You have your beautiful pictures, picture of yourself maybe. It's probably what I should have done for this one. Add a bit of human element to it. It's got my subtitle in there, my email address. When I subscribe to that list, that person will come and get put in the subscribers. So that effectively will cost you nothing. So MailChimp has a free account, and just let me stop sharing there, come back to me. So MailChimp has a free account, so you could use that to set yourself up a landing page in a couple of minutes. It really takes a few seconds. It's really intuitive, it's drag and drop, it's really simple. It actually looks quite good too, and it's already, obviously, it's integrated into your MailChimp. So as soon as someone signs up to that, it takes them there. I'll just quickly show you the beauty of what else MailChimp can do. Oops. Sorry for flicking around, guys, but this will this is a bit more of an interactive sessions. I do want to show you how it all works. But in MailChimp, you get a whole bunch of these interconnected forms that you can use. You don't need to use all of them, but effectively when someone clicks that subscribe button, they'll be taken to a thank you page. You design that thank you page. So here's my thank you page, almost finished. I'd like you to confirm. So that's the double opt-in. You don't have to have that. You can turn that off. And then opt-in confirmation. So it's asking you have, please confirm your email address. That might be an email that goes to someone and says, please confirm. You can have that, again, that opt-in turned off. And once that confirmed, here's your confirmed. Effectively, this one was the 30-day challenge that I ran in October. So it had a link back to there. So I'll give them an email to say, here's your home base. Or you could send them to a page and have some details on the page. If you're using this to qualify people, you could have this thank you page as another page on your site or an email. And that could have the whatever you're asking. So if you've created what's called a lead magnet, or you're offering something to someone for their email address, you could put this then on here. So it's kind of gated for them. You can then, on the free account, you can even also send a final welcome email, and you can have a whole bunch of stuff on that as well. Might be too many emails for some of you, but that's basically the simplicity of MailChimp. You can get away with having this as your proof of concept or MVP for collecting email addresses for any of your business ideas. It's free. It's super easy to set up. Won't take you long at all, and it certainly works. All right, so that's round one. Can you create a landing page in a couple of minutes with $0 and zero coding? Absolutely. All right, moving on to the next one. Oh, that's just an example of a very, very pretty MailChimp sign-up form. So you can make it look like a squeeze page or landing page very simply by changing some of those settings, which won't work there for me for a second. Okay, the fortune's in the follow, obviously. So what is a landing page? So let's have a look at the anatomy of a landing page. I've got an example here, which I'll come over and show you the nuts and bolts of in a moment. So I have a community starting up called Rapid Startup. It's a global community. This is the built out of the local one that we've started in Perth. This is a bit more of a global one, a bit more of a global reach, and something I can do that doesn't require me to be sitting in a room with someone. So this is the landing page for that. Landing page has a title. a byline, obviously something captivating image-wise, some content, and the most important piece, which is a call to action. It sounds like there's a lot of things there, but if you just have a look at that page, my title is Rapid Startup. That's just the name of the website. The byline then start something meaningful in 7 days. The image is, I guess, something compelling in the background. Looks like someone working away there. Something that's very common in design at the moment is to have that as a moving image. So video is converting better than still images, and it makes it look more professional, it makes it look more expensive, all that sort of stuff. But this is just a simple one. I actually put this together, I think, in August last year. I haven't touched it since. But that's just a stock photo in the background. Some content. So the content is very fine there, but I will show you up close in a moment. It basically says a comprehensive self-paced course to help you find, build, and launch in little as a week. And then the call to action. So if I had a look at that screen, I would see start something meaningful in just 7 days and asking me for my email address. So the call to action effectively for this landing page is I want your email address and your first name, so I can call you by your first name, because I don't like hey there on people's emails when I get them. So I prefer to get to know people that I have on the email list. Okay. And if you want some inspiration on landing pages, one of my absolute favorite sites, apart from individual sites and seeing what people do, following individuals, but if you want to see a curation of a whole bunch of really, really good ones, landingfolio.com is really excellent. So let me just flick over to my site and show you exactly how the landing pages work. I need to keep flicking back to me, so you need to keep seeing my face. Hope that's okay. All right, so we'll share back to here, and let me show you how this page is a little bit closer up. So I'm hoping that's full screen now for you, and you can see a bit clearer the image in the background. It's actually a really high resolution image. This website is a WordPress website. I'm going to show you a bit more detail in a moment, exactly how all these things hang together. But this is the next stage. So we've moved from a $0 to this is a real website. This is a WordPress hosted site. Snoring is hilarious. I might move him in a moment. I apologize. This is a self-hosted site. This is on a web host. This is doing all the real technical stuff in the background for you. But this is a WordPress website and a really fantastic, simple theme that I use called Genesis. It's very popular. And yeah, there's not a lot to this page really, but effectively all I'm trying to get you to do is give me your email address. So it is a landing page, so I have qualified people to come to this page. I'm not just sending traffic randomly. If I put this on the website and on the internet and expected traffic to come to it, it probably wouldn't get there in the first place. And if it did, people would be going, well, who is this guy? I have no idea. Or what is this site? Is it spam, etc. So this is a landing page is more about qualified traffic. So people are coming to you and they know a little bit about you. So they're coming from a blog post, or you're sending them there, you've met them in person, things like that. Okay, so let me flick back again. Let's talk about how to get to one of those sites. All right, so landing page 1.0. WordPress. So WordPress is my favorite all-in-one web solution, for one of a better way of putting that. It's extendable. I use it for my e-commerce sites. I use it for all my websites. I'm very happy with it. And you need to, for a WordPress site, you need to host it. Now, I hosted my first WordPress site on Amazon Web Services, and that's because I'm a nerd and I know how that sort of stuff works and I like playing with it. After about 6 months of having to play with it a lot, I realized that nearly everyone I know doesn't go to all that trouble with Amazon, playing with things and security updates and all that sort of stuff, and they actually pay a hell of a lot less. I thought I was getting away with it cheap, but you can get away with it for around $2 a month with a hosted service that's actually looking after WordPress. So HostGator is the first service that I went with. They are really good. They're very cheap. They are a beginner service. They offer all sorts of discounts. I've actually included one in here. So what I'll do for this session is actually include this whole presentation, so you can come back and look at this, pardon me, again at your leisure, and you can go and have a look, check out all these for yourself. So HostGator have stepped up their game a lot and actually focused on WordPress, as well as all their other offerings. As they do everything that normal hosts do, like email and things like that. I don't recommend going with them for all of those things. If you are just starting out and you don't have a clue about any of this sort of stuff, it might be an easy way to start. They do say they have one-click WordPress install. They pretty much have one-click everything, from email to domain names to redirects, all that sort of stuff they can do. It's not as robust as some, but if you aren't technical, you can get someone on Fiverr to do the whole lot for you if you don't want to have anything to do with it whatsoever, or you could use HostGator and actually just follow along. It's very it's very prompty, and it can be done very simply. After about, again, 6 months with HostGator, I moved to WP Engine. I was finding that my sites were slow. My sites were slow when I had people on it, which isn't good. You want to be able to convert that traffic, not send them away because they think your site is slow. I had an e-commerce store that could cope with about 20 people. If I did a sale, it would crash the site, which is no good. So I moved on to WP Engine. I now have 49 sites with these guys. I think I've got 2 or 3 left with HostGator, which I'm moving over. They are a little bit more expensive. I have found a coupon for you guys. So again, I'll leave this all in the notes for you to follow up later. If you want to go and have a look at these guys, go and check them out. Don't take my word for it. Go and have a look at them. They really are outstanding. They've looked after my site from a security perspective, so they update more often than everyone else. They have their own security processes. They don't allow certain plugins that don't meet their standard and things like that, which is great from a speed and safety perspective. And I have found that their technical support has been, I've said free technical support there. What I actually mean is they don't offer free technical support, but they do it. So if I raise them a ticket and say I'm having some trouble with CSS, something on my page, it doesn't look right, I'm having trouble with this plugin, they'll go in and actually fix it for me. I haven't actually had them say this is not within the terms of service yet. Everyone is really happy to help out. So let me just flick over again to show you HostGator. So HostGator, oh, there you go. This is a new thing, a new page, up to 50% off for a limited time, of course. So they say they can offer average site traffic of 100,000 a month. They don't really cope very well with spikes. They do offer up to one site. Now I have 45 sites with one account on WP Engine. I have 10 sites, which I'm only using 2 or 3, I think, of those at the moment. The rest are old sites with HostGator. So they've changed their plans slightly, where they say they're allowing migration and they're allowing multiple sites. Not sure what this relative compute power means. I think they've just tried to dumb down some words and not actually tell you what it means. They offer shared security certificates, which I'm not a huge fan of, because you could end up sharing with someone from a dodgy site, a porn site or something like that. So not a huge fan of that. But they will get you away up and running very quickly and very, very cheap. WP Engine. Oh, there you go. Popped up straight away. Chat message for you. These guys are, well, that's been up since I logged on. These guys are always online. They're always helpful. Everyone knows what they're doing. All the people that answer the chat message are actually the guys working in the office, I think in San Francisco or something. It's fantastic. These guys are really excellent. So let me quickly show you the back end of my WP Engine. So I have multiple domains. This is what the dashboard look like. It probably wouldn't need to be this elaborate for you. but I have lots and lots and lots of domains that I'm looking after, and you can do that look after your caching and your content for you. You can do redirects. It does backups automatically. You can set them yourself. You even get access on a dashboard to your error messages and things like that. All this sort of stuff is pretty much impossible to do this simply just by yourself, especially if you don't have any technical nous. They'll sort out your SSL certificates and stuff like that, security certificates and blah, blah, blah. One of the biggest things for them, just quickly touch on this, is their site migration. They have a plugin that goes into WordPress. You click migrate site and you do a redirect and it's done. It's amazing. I was flabbergasted. I moved 40 sites in about half an hour. It was amazing. Okay, so let me move back to here. If you do want to chat, guys, just you can use the chat on the side there. I'm hoping you're following along okay here. I am flicking back and forth, but I'm trying to show you as much detail as possible so you can get as much out of it and actually find it useful. It could be quite possible for you to follow along, as I said before. So let's go back to here. So now that you have a host, assuming you've got a host, after that, you've either picked the beginner model or the advanced professional model there. You need to make your site pretty. So you do that with what WordPress calls a theme. So the theme, you can think of it like the shell of your site. It's also the heart and soul. It's where all of the good stuff happens. You will build the rest of your site on top of that. So if your theme is crap, your site's going to be crap. There's not a lot you can do. The old polish a turd kind of thing. So this is what the customization for Genesis looks like. It's what I look for in a theme, and what I found in Genesis in all of the StudioPress themes is a simple layout. It's extendable, so if you wanted to change it, modify it, if you wanted to have a shop, if you wanted to have a landing page, if you want to have all those sort of things, it needs to cope with that out of the box. It needs to be really, really simple to customize. So I'm building some of these sites for people and then moving them off to them to manage. I don't want to give them something that's impossible to manage. One, it'll be difficult for me, and two, they'll be very cranky with it. So let's not get to plugins just for now. Let's have a look at themes. So I'm just going to flick back again over to show you how the themes work. So now we went through, just quickly had a look at the landing page that I'd set up. So a bigger version of the screen I just showed you in the presentation is the customization within the StudioPress theme. Now you'll see that this web page is customized through here. It's the Altitude Pro theme. I love that theme. It's fantastic. The background image is just here. So I just uploaded that stock image to here. You can change that or add a new one. It tells you what size to put it in and everything. A lot of themes struggle with that sort of stuff. You can never get them right, but Genesis has done it really well. Change your theme colors, and to change the front screen on the home screen, they have these built-in widgets. And all I've done is add a text widget here, put in a heading, start something meaningful in 7 days. I have a MailChimp form. So I've integrated my MailChimp, which we talked about earlier, just on this screen. So if you type in your email address, your name, and ask for the sample, I'll get that put straight into MailChimp automatically, and it'll automatically send you the sample. The disclaimer then I've got underneath is that there's no spam ever, and then I've got some content, a comprehensive self-paced course, a break, and then enter your email to get the first day one your idea. So that plus that image is all I need. That's a whole landing page done. Took me probably 20 minutes after I installed WordPress, which you can do very quickly. As I said, with HostGator or WP Engine, they've got those one-click installs. They'll have you up and running. You install the Genesis theme, chuck in some content. You can steal from me if you like, click save, and you're away, and you can send people to that site. So that's a very, very simple landing page. So how do you get MailChimp integrated into your website? So you would have seen there that this has some strange, it's MC4WP, which stands for MailChimp for WordPress. It's actually a plugin that is installed in WordPress. So this gives me a form builder, MailChimp for WordPress, and you design it in here. This was already designed. I just changed it so that it put the button on the same line as your first name rather than underneath. So that's the only thing I've changed in there. Everything else is out of the box. It gives you a little code here. You save the changes, tell it which list you want it to go to, which I'm not going to show you in a sec because it actually gives you my API key, which I can't give you because that goes public. I'm in trouble. But you select from you put your API key in from MailChimp, you select from your list, and you can basically put that code on your page and it'll put up that form that you created in MailChimp. Very simple. So let's flick back to the presentation. And that is the thing. Now, if you have had any experience with WordPress, you'll know all about plugins. If you haven't, then plugins are basically add-ons or extensions to the basic core functionality of your website. So in WordPress, these are called plugins. They many and varied. There are millions of them. There's a whole ecosystem. There's a whole economy built around them. Lots of people make a lot of money, and equally, lots of people make a lot of crap. And there's even some illicit plugins out there that are, backdoors into your websites and all sorts of stuff. So do you need all those plugins? So there's plugins for everything. There's a plugin for changing your fonts. There's a plugin for turning your images upside down. There's, you name it, it'll be there. But do you need all these plugins? The simple answer is no. So they slow your site down, and they, as I said, they create security risks. If you have a dodgy plugin created from Dodgy Brothers Inc. Overseas somewhere in a den somewhere, it could have a meaningful code in there to, as I said, create a backdoor into your website, or they could just be bad code, which someone else could then come along and exploit. As far as slowing your site down, when I first started with WordPress, I thought that the plugins were the only way of doing things. So I had about 45 or something installed in one site. And I had customers complaining that the site was really slow. Went and checked it out. And even Google was saying, you have too many plugins. And I thought that was very interesting. So there are a minimum requirements for plugins. So for what we're talking about today, for getting your site off the ground, to get a landing page, to get something functional, to interact with your customers and collect some email addresses, the basic plugins that you'll need for WordPress are MailChimp for WordPress, which is free. They do have a paid option. I use the paid option on nearly all my sites now because the form design is a lot better, and you can have multiple forms and lists per site, which is great because then I can use different offers and opt-ins and things like that for people. And I can tell where people are coming from. So I've got a different landing page for Instagram people. I've got a different landing page for Facebook people and things like that. So I know where they're coming from, and I can work out whether I have the right ads and all that sort of stuff. So when I'm planning out funnels and traffic funnels and paid advertising and stuff like that, it's really important to have multiple, the ability to put multiple lists on your website. So I use the paid version of MailChimp for WordPress. It's about $35 or something, so it's not expensive. And the guy, I've spoken to the guy, I think he's a Norwegian guy. I apologize if he ever gets wind of this, but I think he's Norwegian. Champion, absolute champion, built this from the ground up. He's gone quite big, and he's recently rebranded his everything. He's got portals and everything now, so he's really fantastic. He's stepped up his support and all sorts of stuff. So I I think I emailed him once directly and said, I'm having some trouble with a button. Can you help me? And he replied straight away. So I think he's actually got a team of developers now helping him, but he's still in and around the plugin. The next one, which I use, is called Genesis Extender. So this is built on the top of the Genesis framework, Genesis being the theme that I showed you before. The extender actually pulls everything that WordPress can do into one plugin, and it's extremely powerful. It's probably for the more advanced user. I just wouldn't have a site without it anymore. It's about $30, I think $40, I think, as well. But it's excellent. It's not necessarily it's my minimum requirement, but if you do go down the route of Genesis, I'd recommend it because there's absolutely nothing you can't do with your site with it. The other two are free. It's the Yoast Google Analytics and Yoast SEO, absolute musts for any website. They're freebies. They're very lightweight, very easy to install. You must track your traffic, so you have to have Google Analytics, and the Yoast SEO will just, if you don't know anything about search engine optimization or ranking and things like that on Google, this will just sort it all out for you. It'll tell you to change your heading, to change one of your titles, to include your keyword. If you're trying to sell TVs or something and you don't have TV in your title, then it'll tell you. So it's quite handy. So let's go and have a quick look at plugins. Hello again. So I mentioned Genesis. Genesis has some really easy ways to modify your site. The custom options for Genesis Extender. So I basically update all of my CSS, anything I look at. So this is basically the look and feel, but it's done in code. As I said, I am a nerd, so I've changed a lot of the code in the background. You don't have to do this. I just like playing with that sort of stuff. But anything you want to change on your website, these are all real back-end stuff, but it's all in one place. Normal websites don't have this. So if it's not built into the theme, then you wouldn't be able to change any of this. If you end up trying to develop your website into something where people interact with, where they want to log in, where they want to change their settings and stuff like that, you would probably have a developer helping you with that. And he would have to code that himself. If he had access to something like this, it would take 1/10 of the time and cost you a lot less. So again, fantastic plugin. And we talked about MailChimp for WordPress, a really easy way to integrate your MailChimp or your email service into your landing page. All right, that was really quick. And let's get into the last of the slides. So you can start today. I've showed you can start today. You can start simply with MailChimp or WordPress. So a quick recap. Remember to always start with your why. You can start small. The number one call to action, again, is you want to get people's email addresses. You want to be able to follow them up. Having them on a social network like Twitter or Facebook or something like that, they could turn those off. They could not get the notifications, or you could get banned from that platform. If you have their email addresses, you can't get banned from that platform. You own it. You can contact them whenever you need to. Use a proven platform. So I didn't really get into this very much, but I did talk about WordPress being one of the biggest ones. I'm using WordPress because it's proven. I'm using WordPress because there's a whole ecosystem around it, support developers. It's done really simply with tools, and it's quite big. And proven layouts, so that's with themes and plugins, stuff like that. Make sure they are not one-offs, sort of randoms. You can't trust where they come from. And another point, don't skimp when it matters. So a quick story. I waited for 18 months hacking around MailChimp with the free version, all because I wanted to save the $10 a month on the paid version. Didn't even realize the things I was missing out on. I bit the bullet and bought the paid version on a 3-month trial, which you have access to if you click my link there, the MailChimp, rapidexecutive.com/MailChimp, take in and get three months for free. I used one of those and made $65 in the first couple of days with my autoresponder. So it was a stupid thing to wait 18 months without having paid for something that really mattered. And the last thing is just take action. I had this quote in last one, and I'm putting it in again just to remind myself. I've just finished reading for the second time. Let me just flick back. If you haven't finished reading that, just give me 2 seconds because it's really important. Pat Flynn's book, it's back to front there. Will It Fly? It's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm up to my second read on that. Validating your idea before you start. So we did talk about validation last week. And the other one I'm reading at the moment, just arrived in the mail, I'm very excited, is the Ask Gary Vee book. And it's fantastic as well. Anyway, just a quick one on that. So that was landing pages. I think there's been some issue again with the comments, guys. So it does say they're available, but I can't type in there. So I'm not sure why it's not working. It was a real quick session tonight. I just wanted to show you how easy it was to create a landing page. I'm really hoping that's helpful for you. If you haven't got your site yet, don't let that stop you from launching your idea or getting your business off the ground or validating your idea. Websites aren't hard. They're really, really easy. They're getting easier and easier. It's a commodity now. It's not a, you don't need to be a web designer to build a website. You don't need to be a coder to, HTML, etc., etc. You just need to go and click a few buttons on service providers that have commoditized websites. But get it out there. It's the way to spread your message really easily, and get your message in front of your potential buyers and launch your idea. All right. So that is landing pages. We'll be back I'm going to do this next week, next Tuesday as well. So if you are watching the replay, you can watch this as many times as you like. As I said, there is I'll put this whole version of the presentation with the clickable links and stuff as a PDF on the webinar page. So if you go to, the workshop page, so go to rapidexecutive.com/workshop and you can click the button there. It's not an email or anything like that. You just click the button and it downloads a PDF for you. And those links are all clickable in there. So that's the whole presentation. It's got everything in there. It's even got those coupons I found that give it to you a bit cheaper if you do want to look into those. But definitely do your own due diligence on those. If you are interested in them, check them out. I definitely recommend them because I use them myself. They're all really great. Yes, that is everything I wanted to share with you. If you do want to jump into the Facebook group, we have that going. That's on that page as well. And for all you Perth guys, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Cheers.